serial losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing could get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't come and serial losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing could get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't want you now. Made the crowd scream and I'm on gas. I bitch you ready, red, bro, you down. He was supposed to be with Caesar Matthews, he's a 9. How you let the stinks take your pieces from me? Turn a nigga head into a Reese's cup. You wasn't on the main line, you was PC'd up. We got Draco in the building, turn to Stevie Wonder. Now we back to the punchlines. I'm finna do a nigga sleazy like that one time. I got a free bus pass, he on that one line. I tell my wrist handicap like that blind nigga. I'm a big dog, I'm coming serial losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing could get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't come and serial losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing could get some time from me is OGs. Man, I'm a big dog, I don't come and serial losers. For real. Suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it.
I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with poodles. I make street music you can commit violent crimes too. If we beefing, I use chunks from your noodles to make spaghetti. Throwing house party when you hear them pop shots, it's not confetti. That shit under meniscus, I can eyeball it, no fatty. For a nickel, my shooter ain't a nigga world Armageddon. I want more chains to whip like my shit ain't broke already. And I don't wanna hit that crystal cause I'm dope already. Things came to take the rap game over and I hope y'all ready. Bitch act stupid, I fuck your mama, bitch, you know I'm petty. Nigga think he fucking with me, must be blowed off fatty. This exotic stinky buzz, we don't smoke that Reggie.
I'm a big dog, I don't come and serial losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing could get some time from me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't come and serial losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got the suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it. The only thing could get some time from me is OGs. Man, I'm a big dog, I don't come and serial losers. For real. Suicidal thoughts and the down, don't make me lose it.
We Japanese still. You getting cooked in front of your family like a Japanese meal. It's just shoot the hibachi and none of you niggas can stop me. But can't help but watch me. Yo, I found a video. Of what Polight, one of Polight wives, was claiming that females can have it's so ridiculous. Can't get it out. That females can have children without the opposite sex, without males. And I was like, we might as well just do a quick recap of the entire debate against our pre-debate against Tazariak and Brother Polight, two races, pseudo sides of the same coin. So we're gonna deal with that this morning. Later on today, 3 p.m. CST, we are gonna have the invitational for the 16-man tourney, 16-man bout that the Source Debate League is producing, and you guys come through, show your support. We're going to show you guys how to actually do this debate thing. So before we get into today's topic, into today's video, I just want to share that for anybody that may be interested in participating, whether as a judge or actually debating and trying to win the $500 cash prize. So again, let me show you guys something real quick. Let me open up my Facebook and just promote the invitational real quick. So here's the invitational here. Let me just pull this up. And again, anybody can join. Equal opportunity work environment here. So the Elimination Chamber is a 16-man tourney. We're ironing all the kinks out now. Today at 3 p.m., we're going to have an invitational. So everyone that's trying to participate needs to be present and show face So you can have your chance to join the 16-man bout and tournament. And again, the last man standing will get $500, and like the runner-up and those that make it far in the debate will make sure you don't leave empty-handed as well. Just to make things interesting, make things spicy, generate hype for debates and scholarship and how we do things, man. So today at 3 p.m., you don't want to miss this. Be a part of history here at Source Debate League and join and show your prowess and show your skill set. A lot of you guys want to be keyboard warriors, Facebook warriors, social media warriors, and now the new thing is Clubhouse, because you can go there and run your mouth and you don't have to show your sources. Well, here, this actually is going to increase your skill set, broaden your scope, and get some of that rust off them gears. Instead of wearing your digits out and your thumbs out on your phones and on social media, how about you actually show the world and show competition that you can actually debate, you can put down information. So here's your chance to shine. Here's your chance to show and prove your arguments. 16-man tournament, the Elimination Chamber, Source Debate League. I will be hosting. Jeremiah will be hosting. And again, we have rules here. It's structured. So I posted the rules earlier in Genesis 49ers, the Genesis 49ers group. All debaters must have a PowerPoint presentation or just a presentation, right? I know some people debate on their phones. If you do debate on your phone, all you have to do is send your presentation to one of the hosts, and we will actually show your slides. You just tell us and guide us around. Tell us, hey, next slide. That way, you do have a presentation. We're trying to do things professionally and bring the scholarship to another level. And one of those things and those requirements is a presentation. It's just the lack thereof will result in a loss, regardless of the final judgment. So the judge can say, oh, we thought he won, but we will not allow that to be an actual win. You will actually be given a loss, because we want presentations are a huge part of it. You got to be able to show and prove. Citations are huge, right? Rule number 2, all debaters and judges should be picked at least a day prior to the date of the debate. And that's just to make sure everything's solidified on the judging side of things when we're doing these tournaments and we're doing these debates and it's being judged. We want to have the judges already, aware of the debate and selected before the day of the debate. That just eliminates chaos and confusion, and allows us to operate smoothly. Rule number 3, if any debater leaves during the debate, it will result in an automatic loss. So if someone gets frustrated, gets mad, or gets upset, and they just leave, that will be an L on their record. Rule number 4, each and every debate will be judged based on the information alone, not religiosity, nor personal preference. So again, we tell our judges this: you cannot judge a debate based on what you prefer or what side you prefer. It has to be based on the information presented that day. I don't give a damn who you are, atheist, agnostic, Christian, or whatever, Hebrew Israelite. You have to stick to that. It's based on the information at the debate, not on what side you believe in, okay? Or what religion that you ascribe to, because that goes on a lot in this community. We're trying to eliminate that from the debate scene, okay? So that's rule number 4. Rule number 5, any judge that shows any sign of bigotry or religious favor or disfavor will be disqualified on the spot. So just reinforcing number 4, someone's like, oh, I just hate all Christians, I hate all atheists or whatever, then you can't judge a debate where an atheist is present, or you can't judge a debate where a Christian or any vice versa is present, because you automatically are setting a bias that you're gonna go against this guy no matter what, no matter how well his arguments are made. Again, debates are won by who has the best argument, not about what side you believe in or whatever hatred you may have for that respected group or whatever, right? So we're trying to eliminate that, man, because a lot of that stuff goes on, Sinetta Garfield, etc., all these other groups, right? Anyway, all sources must have proper citations. This is huge. You have to cite your sources. We have to know where these sources are coming from. You can't just be hitting us with random stuff or random jargon. Let me blow this up a little bit. So 6, all sources must have proper citations, which coincides with rule number 1. You got to have a presentation to even show your sources and show your citations. You got to know where this stuff is coming from. It can't just be something you freestyle forwards into your mind. It has to be something or somewhere you're getting it from, right? Rule number 7, all judgments must be sent directly to the host prior to each judge giving an explanation for their judgment. And the reason why it's done this way, so at the end of the debate, every judge on the panel, normally we have 3 judges, right? I hear that we're trying to do 5. I think that's a little overkill, but 3 judges is normally the number. Those 3 judges will text or message directly the host their pick. That way, the judges can't influence each other. Because when we go to the judge, we'll say, okay, who did you have winning? Oh, I had Xavier winning because of X, Y, Z. Then another judge will hear that and say, oh, I'm going to change my pick because of what the other judge or the first judge said. We try to eliminate that. We want people to just come to their own conclusion, their own way, and not be influenced by other judgments. So with that being said, at the end of the debate, we're going to give time, a lot of time, for the judges to message the host and tell them who they thought won. That way we can go into we can do it properly and not sway a judge's opinion based off of judgment, right? So that explains rule number 7. Rule number 8, all 3 judges shall be from different perspectives and creeds. This will absolve any personal or religious bias from the judging system. So what we like to do is try to get an atheist, a Christian, or maybe an Israelite, or agnostic, a Christian, an Afrocentric. We try to keep them all the judges different beliefs, creeds, and walks of life to limit bias, so we can, again, make it more about the information and not about someone's perspective or worldview, right? Which one that you agree with or disagree with. This will keep the judges honest if we do it this way. Number 9, no shows will result in automatic loss. If you're scheduled to debate and you just don't show up, you don't tell us nothing, you don't try to reschedule, you don't hit us up before the date and just leave us in the dark, that will be an L. No excuse. You'll just get an L. And we're planning. The preliminary is done. You guys have set your premise. You guys have set the debate, the parameters of the debate, and everyone has got it. The judges have got it. We promote and we show people that, hey, the debate's going on, and you guys decide to just ghost us. That's an L, bruh. No coming back from that. Number 10, once the premise is agreed upon during the preliminary, none of the debaters can alter it, right? So when you're in the preliminary, that's when you start ironing the kinks out of your debate, picking the topic and the premise. And once that's set, you guys agree upon that. That's why we do it live. So we have a documentation of you guys agreeing on the topic and agreeing on the premise. So after that, you can't change or alter it. Like, oh, actually, I'm debating X, but in the preliminary, you said you wanted to debate Y. We're not going to play those games. Once you set the premise, that's it. That's what you're debating. And that cuts back on confusion. 11, all participants, hosts, judges, and debaters must be in the StreamYard at least 45 minutes prior to the start of the debate. That allows us to start on time and be punctual. We can get people there that say it starts at 7 Central Standard Time. Your debate is slotted to start at 7 Central Standard Time. If we can get people there by 6:15, that means the judges are in the room, the hosts are there, and both debaters are there. That means we can start promptly at 7, right? We want to do things professionally, and that's how we do it. Be there early so we can be on time and start the debate and deliver the goods on time, right? So let me go down here. Rule number 13, if debaters cut off another debater, which I've watched a recent debate where that's happened. So if a debater cuts off another debater during their round, an additional minute for each infraction will be allotted to the victim of the interruption. So the reason why we put this rule in place is to pretty much stop people from opening their mics while their opponent is speaking or going into their round. It's distracting and it's done on purpose. I don't care who you are. It's done on purpose because whether you don't like the information or you feel that you're losing, so you want to interrupt them. If you do that and you violate that, every time you do it, your opponent will be allotted an additional minute right? Our standard debates is 15 minutes. So if you cut him off one time, now he got 16 minutes to go. You cut him off another time, now he got 17 minutes. You do that 5 times, now you done gave your opponent an advantage and leverage by giving him 5 extra minutes. So guess what this does? This encourages you to be quiet while the other man or your opponent is going. A lot of people don't like this. They don't like this. Is why they don't like rules. But we got structure and rules here to keep these debates fair and keep these debates professional. Rule number 14, source debate standard format is as follows: 3 rounds with a Q&A segment or rapid fire session after the completion of the 3 rounds. So again, we usually do 3 rounds here with a Q&A segment right afterwards, which will be a question and answer segment. You guys will decide, the people that are debating will decide how long that question and answer segment will be, how long responses are. And the reason why we do that is we don't want somebody to get one question and then the response take an hour to break down. No, you should be able to ask your question in a finite amount of time, quick and brief, and the answer should be quick and brief. It should not be another debate. You already had a debate with the 3 rounds. It should not be a whole nother event there. So we try to keep that time, and you guys can discuss the time limit of question and answering during the preliminary. Also, the rapid fire session, you could also opt out of the question and answer segment and do a rapid fire session where you just go back and forth for, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes, going back and forth, answering and basically a Q&A, but more rapid fire. And both of these, whichever one you decide, question and answer segment or rapid fire session, will have to be done after the completion of the 3 rounds. And then, of course, after that, we'll go into the judgment. This will be the structure you guys will be debating under if you decide to join the tournament or you just want to debate on the Source Debate League. It's just that simple. All right. With that being stated, let me just give you guys one more promotional item for anybody that's interested in being a part of this. Let me go to it. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where's the main flyer? $500 award. So if you guys feel that you're skilled, you're talented, and that you can debate, bring it on, man. We got the Elimination Chamber. I will be hosting. Jeremiah will be hosting the entire event. Just come around 3 p.m. Central Standard Time today and join the Invitational and let us know if you want to actually participate and try to win this $500 cash prize. All right? The Elimination Chamber presented by Source Debate League. $500 on the line. Maybe someone listening here can be the person that wins that money. So with that being stated, that's the tournament. That's the rules of engagement, rules and regulations of the Source Debate League. Now, let's go to our brother, Polight. Let's move on to our brother, Polight here. We got our promotional pieces out of the way. Let's deal with that. Anyway, boom. Let's review this, man. Before we get into it, there will be a fair use banner. Shout out to Orthodox Moore. Fair use banner on the bottom. And we're going to read the Fair Use Act. We are covered under the copyright section 107 of the Fair Use Act because we're going to be giving criticisms, commentaries, and hopefully someone learns something from this. So scholarship and research purposes. So we're well within our right to examine, review this media. All right. Fair use. Let's get into it.
Yo, this is a classic right here. This is the weigh-in, baby. We are racist. And let me tell you something.
Did you hear what Cesario said? Because a lot of people today, this was 9 years ago, right? What's the date on this? Yeah, 9 years ago. So 9 years ago, they were open about being racist. Now when you call them out and say, hey, you guys are very racist, openly racist, right? They want to say, no, we're not racist. God is this, that, and the third, or try to deflect. But he's being honest here. This is what ISUBK, One West, and most of these Black Hebrew Israelites are. Let me go back. Classic footage, by the way.
We are racist.
He admitted to being racist, man. Which is no surprise to us. We know the roots of these groups. These groups go back to racist, black supremacist groups that are actually white supremacists and blackface groups. That's where they go back to. They're the spiritual sons and daughters of those groups that existed before them that pushed that, like the UNIA and Marcus Garvey. There was a lot of racist groups that were pro-white supremacy. They sold 17,000 books of Ernest Cox, White America, which is a white supremacist book. That's where these groups are getting their roots from.
And let me tell you something. We are racist. And let me tell you something. Being racist is why we go out on the corners every day.
Being racist is why we go out on the corners every day. Talk about cringe. This is your Black Hebrew Israelite mantra. This is what they do. This is their MO. This is a modus operandi. They tell you right here. Let me go back. He's telling you. And they're saying con. They're saying con in the background.
We are racist. And let me tell you something. Being racist is why we go out on the corners every day across the country. We in Philadelphia, D.C., Baltimore, New York, Florida, California, South Carolina. We on the streets every week. The sister said, what you're doing. We have drug rehab programs. We have GED programs. We have food programs that go out every week. So to say that we not doing nothing is false. This the way in, baby. Good.
I need for you to scientifically prove that the female egg is dead and there's no life. That's one. Two, you said that the life comes from you.
That's correct.
Now, if you study science, you'll find out that there's something called the Bartholin gland that the female has. And this gland, it makes her possible to secrete semen.
Yeah.
This means that she can create life without you. So if this is the case,
Women can create life without you. Where's that? Where's a scientific article on that? Let me read that. Let me see if I can find it. The Bartholin gland. I don't even know how to spell that. Gland. Email. Let me just type it in. Let me see if I can find it. Bartholin gland. Yeah, I spelled it right. Look what I spelled it. I've been Bartholin, Bartholine. I put an E on it. Look, it's a Bartholin gland. Let's see if it says what she said, because this was a big thing during this time, and they were saying that, this means that she can produce children without a male counterpart, which is that. Where's your case study on that? Where's the proof of this? Bartholin's glands are located on each side of the vaginal opening. These glands secrete fluid that help lubricate the vagina. So when a woman, as we say in a colloquial speech, gets wet, right? Gets wet. That's what that does. It just makes that fluid comes. It says sometimes the openings of these glands become obstructed, called a fluid to back up in the gland. The result is relatively painless swelling called a Bartholin cyst. This had nothing to do with creating a baby. This had nothing to do with you could create sperm and sperm or the Y chromosome or any or the DNA that's provided by the sperm cell, right? Let's just put it like that. It doesn't say that. There's no scientific article that says that. But let's go back to the video, and this is what this community does. This is all they do is pontificate and make stuff up, ad hoc, post hoc arguments, and then people will say, "Oh, that's right. She said science." It doesn't matter. Did she prove it? No, she did not. Right? We got to go over a lot of this old footage, bro. There's a lot of nuggets and stuff we can learn from these footages of how people try to give us this bullshit and sell it to us as science, package it to us as, this is bona fide science.
It's false. This the way in, baby. Good.
I need for you to scientifically prove that the female egg is dead and there's no life.
She's right about that. The female egg is alive. It's not dead. If you look up germ cells, they're cells. Cells are living. What are germ cells? Let me go. Let me show them. I'm going to have to teach you. Again, this is for educational purposes as well. A germ cell, a cell that develops into a reproductive cell, which is an egg in females and a sperm in males. So cells are living things. They're not dead. So Tazariak and his constituents were wrong about that. Eggs and females are not dead. Now they lose their eggs, during their quote unquote periods and menstrual cycles. Those are flushed out, but the ones that are living are still living. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So again, a germ cell are your reproductive cells, and cells we know are living organisms. It's just that simple, easy stuff. This is not hard to break down at all. All right.
That's one. Two, you said that the life comes from you.
That's correct.
Now, if you study science, you'll find out that there's something called the Bartholin gland that the female has. And this gland, it makes her possible to secrete semen.
Yeah.
This means that she can create life without you. So if this
Somebody tell his cheerleaders to get off yo dick. Because they gonna hype every single bar that this nigga go spit. He can say something that doesn't make no sense. Like, bibbity bobbity boo. They gonna be like, oh shit.
She hit us with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo scholarship, and you heard the sister in the back. Facts. No. That was some retarded shit. Women cannot reproduce by themselves. It's just that simple, man. There's no proof or evidence of that. There's no empiricals behind that. You just said that because you're on this black femdom shit. That's all it is, black femdom. This is when they was pushing the black woman is God, and this person, we all come from the woman, and without a woman, there would be no men and women are the same age, Homo sapiens same age. That doesn't make no damn sense. And if you guys are dealing with science, the advent of males and females are older than humans. Older than humans. Are you trying to say that you used to be asexual organisms? Asexual organisms are not male and female. This is dumb. Anyway,
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. Let's rewind that so we can define that.
comes from you.
That's correct.
Now, if you study science, you'll find out that there's something called the Bartholin gland that the female has. And this gland, it makes her possible to secrete semen.
Yeah.
This means that she can create life without you.
Bitch, who raised you?
They done left me in here with this retarded son of a bitch. He ain't got no name tag on or nothing.
This is just idiocy, bro. This is idiocy pushed in the Afrocentric community, bro. It's idiocy. Hey, look, they all facts. Preach it, sister. This community, Black Hebrew, the Black Hebrew is like Afrocentric or what have you, is the antithesis to education.
That's one. Two, you said that the life comes from you.
That's correct.
Now, if you study science, you'll find out that there's something called the Bartholin gland that the female has. And this gland, it makes her possible to secrete semen.
Yeah.
This means that she can create life without you.
Bitch, who raised you? What the fuck?
My God, man. It was cringeworthy back then. Now it's even more when you just think about like how many people are attached to this. I've heard it being resurrected on Sadetta's channel the other day with the ex-football player. It's just like, why? Why the fuck? Why is nobody? Like, it just shows that this community, there's a dearth of scientific, understanding. There's a dearth. right? I don't even know what else should we do. Should we even address this even more, or just move on, man? That's just stupid. There's papers you can read about that. The Bartholin gland, what it does. It's not really that deep. All it does is produce the fluid to lubricate the vagina. That's what it does. It cannot create a fetus. It cannot create a zygote. It cannot perform fusion. It doesn't do that. Again, this is basic rudimentary stuff. Right? But you Afrocentrics, you idiots out there believe this shit. And then try to package it as science and say, oh, no, that's what science teaches. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all. Just look up the Bartholin gland and it'll tell you what it is. All right? It'll tell you exactly what it is, what it does. Right here, these glands secrete a mucus-like material that plays a role in lubrication during sexual activity. Right here, boom. You read about this. Look, boom. These glands secrete a mucus-like material that plays a role in lubrication during sexual activity. That's all they do. They cannot create babies without the assistance of a male. Why do I have to explain this to grown motherfuckers? I don't know. You just put this in the chat. Put it here. Boom. There you go. And this is how you spell it. Bartholin gland. She's claiming that this means that you don't need a male partner to create babies. It's that fucking simple. This is just crazy, man. This is fucking crazy shit. It was crazy then and it's crazy now.
Got some information that you bitch niggas would hate to know.
Anyway, back to the video. we ain't even got the Polight part. You know what I'm saying? This video already crazy. You got Tazariak announcing to the world that they are actually a racist group, openly racist group. And, you know, they're racist all over America throughout all their camps. And then you get this crazy dysfunctional woman getting on here saying that women can reproduce without the aid of males. Females can reproduce without the aid of males. Right? And, you know, they used to say, oh, well, black women were gods because they can give birth. Okay, white women can give birth too. Asian women can give birth too. Just females in general, gods. This shit was dumb. This whole thing was just had stupidity written all over it. But look, all the niggas in the room. Yeah, that's right, sister. That's right. They fell for the okie doke. They fell for the bibbity bobbity boo scholarship. Anyway.
So if this is the case, hold on.
I want to know when it's been done. Let us finish. It's the weigh-in, baby. Just like you speak.
And then it's in science. When people be overly vague, they say science is a huge field. What part? What scientist said that? Did a geneticist say that? Did a biologist say that? Who said that? You didn't even quote. It's in science. When they're incredibly vague like that, they're usually lying or spreading misinformation. One of the two. So you got these two pseudo groups battling out.
And real rap, let me tell you something. Real rap,
5 minutes. Go ahead. Don't do it.
You shouldn't even be talking to me if your husband was here. Real rap. You should ask your husband that question. That's your husband. You disrespecting your husband by talking because you should keep your mouth shut. That's what you should do. And honor your husband.
This is another thing Israelites get flack for. Women are like children in their eyes, so they should be seen and not heard, you know, as we've heard that saying going. And that's, they got that going for them too. It's just a negative group all around. Black Hebrew Israelites ain't shit, man. I'm just going to be the one who say it. BHIs, you're pretty much scraping the bottom dealing with BHIs.
He has the power over her, and he should ask that question. He should have told her before they came up here. asking you, and let him answer. Let the men talk. I should not be addressing another man's woman, so that I don't run the risk of disrespecting her and not being a brother to somebody that might be a brother. She shouldn't ask me that question.
This is the way-in, baby.
A woman can only hear it through him. Where did you come from?
Air means breath.
No. Where did you really come from? This thing called the spirit that they be talking about, whatever the hell that means. Or the energy, or whatever it is that exists inside you, or consciousness. Who was your porthole, your wormhole, or your vortex to get here? The woman. The woman. But then the same people.
That shit's stupid as fuck. Again, he at this time, he believed that women could reproduce with themselves. As that woman said, we come from men and women. It's just that simple. We are a product of men and women. We got to teach basic biology here. How do humans reproduce? When a male and a female get together and have sex, he shoots his sperm into her vagina. That one of those sperm cells make it to the egg, and then fusion happens, right? Fusion happens, and then a zygote is later developed. That's how we are born. You need the male and the female. You can't get it without both of them coming together. This is basic, simple shit. Simple stuff. But these guys are supposed to be scholars and the pinnacle of the truth and have all this knowledge and understanding and call themselves the conscious community. And they saying dumb shit like this. Remedial shit like this. This is that bibbity bobbity boo scholarship I was talking about.
Somebody tell his cheerleaders to get off your dick. Because they gonna hype every single bar that this nigga go spit. He can say something that doesn't make no sense. Like, bibbity bobbity boo. They gonna be like, oh shit.
And we all know Polight is the king of the bibbity bobbity boo scholarship and word salads. We already know that. Basic, simple shit. Easily to dismiss this. But this has become a magnet. This guy's grown huge followers and everything behind this bibbity bobbity boo scholarship. So I mean, if you just go, let's just type in sexual reproduction. How does it work? Simple shit. You got to treat these guys like they're 2 years old. I only think a 2-year-old would make this mistake. How does sexual reproduction work? Oh, here's a good graph right here. Let's just read it. Look with it. This is simple shit, man. I don't even. This is crazy, bro. Grown men teaching this shit. Grown men and women was actually involved in them and still are, because it came back up on Sonetta recently, just this month. Right? Still are, man.
Got some information that you bitch niggas would hate to know.
So today's lesson class is sexual reproduction.
Sexual reproduction.
How does that work? Because these people act like they don't know how that works. The production of new living organisms by combining genetic information from two individuals of different types, sexes. You need two sexes. You gotta have a male and a female. In most higher organisms, one sex, the male, produces a small motile gamete, which travels to fuse with a larger stationary gamete produced by the other, which is a female. That's how it works. Here's a little great graph here. Sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction that involves a complex life cycle in which a gamete with a single set of chromosomes combined with another gamete to produce a zygote that develops into an organism composed of cells with two sets of chromosomes. Right? Here's a great graph here. You can get this up. Fertilization going into meiosis. As you can see, this is what sexual reproduction looks like. Here's another graph here. Today, kids, you guys are learning basic biology, right? We know we're not asexual, right? We actually have to deal with a male and a female coming together and producing, right? That's it. This shit is this simple shit. Simple stuff. Look, sperm into the egg cell. Sperm fuses with the egg cell and releases its chromosomes. The sperm chromosomes join with those of the egg cell to form a full normal set of 46 chromosomes. Basic biology. Basic biology. Wow, you know, this community is so fucking retarded, bro.
You niggas got some information that you bitch niggas would hate to know.
All right, let's go back to the video, man. Crazy shit. Crazy shit, bro.
People that come out the womb, it's going to tell you that there's no life in the womb. Like they never seen a belly swole up for a 9-month gestational period. The same people that come out the womb of the woman going to turn around and tell that woman that her womb is dead. Going to turn around and tell that woman, that she has to get her spiritual education from a man, but not the one responsible for bringing them through the vortex called the womb. And you wonder why we got to have this debate. And someone says, why are we teaching this? Oh, we ain't doing no work in the community. We cannot have our women here thinking that they have to learn spirituality exclusively through their man. That's just foolishness in my opinion. I'm not trying to disrespect these brothers. But that is foolishness to teach our children that. And that's why we upset today. December 7th is on.
This the way in, baby.
And I know everybody wants to probe their minds because I was the same way. It's addictive because I ain't know black people think like this. It's addictive.
It's coming from somebody that think like you. You're a Nuwapi and you believe in aliens and shit, and you believe that you got abducted by aliens and they injected all this information into you. You learn through osmosis and you start speaking all these different languages. What do you mean? It's like this guy has all these weird beliefs. It's going to try to call somebody else, call someone else out with weird beliefs. You both are weird. Both of you guys are pseudo. You don't even understand simple sexual reproduction. You don't even understand that shit. You think a female can actually reproduce by itself. That has not been proven. Basic biology refutes that. Simple shit. Now, ISUBK, what's wrong? First of all, ISUBK is openly racist. I think the Wapians are openly racist too. Secondly, all your cells are living. So a woman's eggs are living. All cells are living. So we can just type that in real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. We having basic biology class today, y'all. Basic biology. Cells are living. Let me see. All right, here. What does this say here? Simple Google search, man. Y'all, that's why I tell y'all, do your Googles, man. Do your Googles. A cell is a smallest unit that is typically considered alive and is a fundamental unit of life. So a woman's eggs are alive. They're living cells. If they weren't, they wouldn't be able to function. They would not be able to fuse with the sperm cell. They wouldn't be able to do those things if they're dead. They're alive. It's that simple. Now back to the damn. When my boy say that's the motherfucking deal, and that's the motherfucking deal. Let's go back.
This the way in, baby.
This is just the preliminary. All right? Now, the brothers say that they got a bus leaving here on December 7th at 10 o'clock.
This the way in, baby. Hold on.
Listen. All right. We here at Black and Nobel definitely appreciate both sides of this debate. And remember, it's just a pre-debate.
That's right. It's
a pre-debate. This is just the start. We will finish this on December 7th.
Yo, this the way in, baby.
But for now, we do have the DVD of tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Here. We'll be ready in 10 minutes when we stop talking. So you can get it tonight, get all your questions together for the 7th.
Just a plain statement. Audre Lorde and Angela Davis were both known bisexual women and had women lovers, and they definitely did more for this country and for black people than both of these groups standing right here, and that's a known fact. I just want to throw that out there.
Look, you see the black pendulum that's being pushed on this platform. Oh, both of these women, Angela Davis, they were lesbians and they did both. Who cares about their sexual orientation? And then why are you even bring that to the forefront? Because you're trying to justify your own sexual orientation. That has nothing to do with anything. But again, this comes with that black fandom ideology that most of these males, these grown men, support and they push because they like to get into these women's panties. And there's no better way than doing that than flattering them. They're trying to flatter. Oh, you a god. Oh, you don't need no man to reproduce. You don't need all this independent lady shit that was going on during that time.
You niggas bitches. Where y'all purses?
It's just that simple, man.
Yo, some tech. Kathleen Cleaver has not always been a lesbian. Matter of fact, all right, even when she was in the Black Panther Party fighting for the revolution, she became that when she found some white cracker devil woman. All right, she wasn't always.
You see how they talk? White cracker devil woman, openly racist, man. What if a white person was on YouTube promoting debates and all that other stuff, and had a huge platform and said that you guys would want him canceled? You would want them to get rid of the community. He would not be able to speak. You guys would send 1,000 emails. You guys would boycott YouTube. You would do all that if someone of that color would to say those things. You guys are hypocrites. Let me go back. I remember when this is all going on, man. Y'all was cheering this man on when he said this.
All right, even when she was in the Black Panther Party fighting for the revolution, she became that when she found some white cracker devil woman. All right, she wasn't always a lesbian. She had a black husband at one time, so she was not a lesbian.
So she became a lesbian because she found what did he say, a cracker devil woman? Like, come on, man. This is y'all community that y'all love so much, man.
They done left me in here with this retarded son of a bitch. He ain't got no name tag on or nothing.
These are supposed to be the purveyors of knowledge and understanding and wisdom in this community, right? These are supposed to be the pinnacle, the top scholars, the top guys that is bringing and disseminating information. These are their views and their ideology. Again, because they're nothing but these racist rednecks of the past. That's all they are, right? Whether they're Black Hebrew Israelite, Nuwapian, Afrocentric, what have you, whatever label you want to put. That's why they were on Sinai's channel celebrating James Smalls. They were celebrating Professor James Smalls, which represents bigotry, which represents racism and colorism, that represents racial ideology. He represents all those things, and they love him for it, man. They love him for it.
Let's get back to order.
Some cracker devil white whore.
Let's get back to order.
Cracker devil white whore.
This the way in, baby.
One of you groups actively doing in your community.
I'm glad you asked that.
Your community.
I'm glad you asked that.
Change the lives of people besides standing up and talking on the soapbox.
I'm glad you asked that.
Because that's not revolution.
This the way in, baby. I'm glad you asked that.
I would really like to know that.
Now, before I answer,
hold on a second. That question, we're gonna answer that at the debate.
That's idiocy. That's idiocy too. That's non sequitur. If they're having a debate about ideology, then the debate's going to be about ideology. Not if you run food drives or you give clothes to the homeless or you go out and you get people jobs. That has nothing to do with debating ideologies. These people are debating two worldviews that clash. The debate should be based on that. The information supporting each side. That's it. Who cares if this guy goes out and gives soup to the homeless? That doesn't make his argument right. Let's say this guy goes out and he gives clothes to the homeless, or he gives clothes to those that don't make that much money or lower income or provide housing or whatever. Does that automatically make his argument right? You guys try to mix two things together. That has nothing to do with debate. If anything, that's a red herring. That's non sequitur and a red herring to distract people from what these guys are actually discussing. You guys love doing that. What are you doing for the community? What are you doing for the community? What does that have to do with what they're talking about? Nothing.
Bitch, who raised you?
this the way in, baby. Nah, I'm going to answer that now. No. We can't do that. Hold on a second. Try to leave. Give me the mic.
My dude, the cord ain't but 3 feet long.
This the way in, baby.
Complete madness. Complete madness. Look, motherfuckers who you think you talking to, all this other shit. That's always, these type of events always bring this type of drama, man. That's why I don't fuck with y'all kind.
Bitch niggas, I ain't fucking with y'all kind.
I would never waste my time, money, and effort to go into a situation like this with these type of individuals. Because look, this is how it always ends.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here disrespecting people's place, man.
Looking forward to this one. It's gonna be fire.
I'm looking forward to this one. That's the dude that's he has his own debate league. I can't think of the name. I forget his damn name. What's his name? Somebody put his name in the chat for me, man. Somebody put his name in the chat. Solarmind. Yeah, Solarmind Debates, I think it is.
Nothing what? In the bookstore?
They was gonna fight in the bookstore, bro. They was gonna fight in the bookstore.
Bitch, who raised you?
This is the pinnacle of the conscious community at that time. Nothing has really changed much, man. All right, nothing hasn't really changed that much.
I said, all I asked him to do is calm down because he disrespected me. And I already felt someone trying to do it inadvertently. And I told my wife, don't fall for that because that take away from a good event.
And don't forget, y'all, the CISC presents the legendary Godfathers of Comedy. Paul Mooney and Dick Gregory on the same stage, right?
Hey, we old, man. We getting old, bro. I remember like this going on. We sitting on the couch watching this with other brothers. November 22nd, 2013, man. Damn. This is 2013, bro. 10 years ago. Think about that. But anyway, 10 years of continued stupidity. Let me see if I can get part 2. Oh man, it is so much that comes from this. Idiocy, violations of basic biology. Oh yeah, I remember he debated Rabbi Rosenberg, and Israelites helped Polight beat Rabbi Rosenberg, or helped him debate Rabbi Rosenberg, which makes no sense. Why would you help? You should have been on Rabbi Rosenberg's side, but you're so goddamn racist. You know, it didn't allow you to see things clearly, so to speak.
This is the weigh-in, baby.
So what we have going on today is a pre-fight weigh-in, a live broadcast between the brothers from the New Covenant and the Hebrew Israelites.
This is the weigh-in, baby.
Oh, it's never that simple. These brothers get together, even for the pre-fight weigh-in. You ever see Ali?
Look at that race.
He does his pre-fight weigh-in. Ali did his pre-fight weigh-in, and some of those were more entertaining than the fight. So make sure everybody stay tuned.
This is the weigh-in, baby.
So now, how can we use this same Bible that our oppressor gave to us? This is a question that Polight asked me on Saturday. And I asked him, I said, well, show me what is corrupt in the Bible. If you can show me what is corrupt in the Bible, then I'll stop using it. The problem is you cannot show what's corrupt in the Bible.
This is the weigh-in, baby.
It was in the Bible. I said, you kidding me? Just when I thought this shit go deep, it ain't gonna go no deeper. The niggas said they will let their mans rape their 12-year-old daughter, or any daughter of theirs for that matter, because in God's kingdom, you can just walk. And then he read the verse. He actually read the verse where a man could walk. Oh, he read another shit where he said, if you and me fighting, and this is my wife, right? And she jump in and kick you in the nuts.
Oh, yeah.
We both gonna stop, but we gonna whip on her.
Yo,
they read that shit yesterday. They read that shit.
That's not what it say. But that's funny. We both gonna stop. We gonna whip her ass. These niggas retarded. Oh man.
Yesterday, man.
And that's only a kick.
And I said, I'm convinced
If you
because God
stop you
said
in the head or whatever, that's cool.
But if he
Don't fuck with the nuts.
yeah, they're gonna stone her to death. Both you and our responsibilities to stone her to death if she jump into the fight to defend my honor.
That's not what the scriptures say. What does it say? I think it says cut her hand off or something like that. Let me see what that scripture actually says. Let me see. Means in a fight. Let me see that Bible. Let me just type it up real quick. Deuteronomy 25 and 2011. Yeah, or 25 and 11, excuse me. So this is what it says here. If two men are fighting and the wife of one of them comes to rescue her husband and from his assailant, and she reaches out and seizes him by his private parts. Let me go to the next part. Verse 12. Come on, generate. There we go. You should cut off her hand. Show her no pity. That's what it says. They got their hands cut off. It doesn't say they got stoned or the two men got together. And we're going to whoop her ass. This nigga's retarded, boy. You boys is retarded. I'm gonna start going back through these videos because I watched them when they first came out, but it's so many. There's a lot of stuff we can pull out of it, man. Like this crazy stuff. Yeah, it's not kick. It's if she grabs it with the hand, then it should be cut off according to that scripture.
As my wife. It's the way in, baby.
You talk to our sisters in our school, them same women that was loud mouth black women, those women are quiet now. And you know what they say? They thank the Lord for the men in ISUPK for correcting them. That's what you do. And the same thing with the brothers. The brothers say the same thing. Thank God for the men in ISUPK. And we give you the laws that the Lord laid down. That's what we do.
It's the way in, baby. So dude was like, we gotta go with the will of the Lord. So I was like, hold on, your 12-year-old daughter. I said, hold y'all, that's fine. But then look, one nigga was shaky, right? What did he do? Tahar. What did he do? He sunned one of them that was looking shaky about letting his daughter be raped by his man. What did he say to him?
You gonna let it happen, right?
Yeah, he was like, put pressure on him. He's like, yeah, we're gonna follow the way of the Lord. So I said, you gonna let it happen, right? Because I was talking about you gonna let rape your 12-year-old daughter. So you gonna let it happen, right? Because one nigga was shaking. And I was like, come on, man, come on. And it was like that TV show time.
And they not being fair, they're being disingenuous. They're talking about their discussions, which is famous on YouTube. You guys probably already seen it. The interactions with Tahar of GMS, and they have a forced sexual relationship doctrine. Let me put it like that, because YouTube's very sensitive nowadays, right? So he's using that to say, I guess, taping it together, editing this video to condemn ISUPK. But I don't know if ISUPK really ever subscribed to that, right? But that's what they're doing. And then Sarnetta, I got it all on tape. Sarnetta look young, man. Can y'all believe Sarnetta's 59? So 10 years, he was probably 49, 50 during that time, right? This is crazy. He's like, I got it all on tape.
If you gonna win the $1 million, the nigga he picked up and said he gonna let it happen. I was like, yo, Polight, and they said what we gonna do is in the Bible. It's the way in, baby.
Right off the Barnary sub stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shots alive.
I wonder if I can call that number and still get this DVD for $10. I wonder if that offer is still valid.
You would think it was a club spot, African Americans. Although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You wonder we got it, mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. Black and Nobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive.
All right, I want to hear your rap song, man. I don't want to hear your rap song. I got better rap music to listen to than that. Anyway, let's go back here. Hold on, let's go back. Click the back arrow real quick. Let's go. Let's find out part 3. There we go. Boom. That's part 3 of the preview.
This the weigh-in, baby.
One more time.
What makes y'all so special
Mm-hmm.
as God's chosen children?
Mm-hmm.
If, according to what the Spirit has, this Holy Spirit, the diversity of gifts that the Spirit has, if others can express this Holy Spirit, this Spirit is we endowed with by God, and God is only with y'all. And according to you, He hates the African. Am I misquoting you?
No, you're not.
Okay, God hates the African. I don't even worry about white people right now. I'm worried about the African.
He hate them too. But here's the funny thing about African is a categorization that encompasses African Americans. So I guess God hate African Americans then. This is the idiocy behind this whole group and this racialized thinking. That's why they have adopted the ways of Woodrow Wilson. I keep saying that shit. And y'all guys don't get it yet. You don't fucking get it. But that's where they got this from. Of trying to separate races to color lines or continental racial theories. That's how they even came up to the concept of Hamites being African, right? And they're saying, oh, well, they sold us into slavery. Those people that were selling people into slavery are genetically similar to African Americans. Many of those are E1B1A carriers. Many African Americans are E1B1A carriers. So if they Hamites, you are Hamite. You have to be logically coherent here. You have to be logically coherent. The Oyo State sold slaves, Igbo sold slaves, the Dahomey sold slaves, the Bihogo sold slaves. It was a huge money grab in West Africa, and they've been doing it before European interactions with the West Coast of Africa. It's just that simple. So this is why this whole idea is just idiotic, but it stems from the ideas of race, color lines, continental race theory. It stems from those things, and you guys don't want to let it go. Some of you guys watching are still holding on to that. You still got that redneck inside of you, and you don't want to purge them.
Okay, no, I ain't worried about them right now. I'm worried about the Africans. That affects me because that's weird from black people to me. So we focusing on African people, not the white man right now. God hates the African. But I know that Africans have...
Yeah, we're focusing on African people, not the white man right now. But Africa is so genetically diverse. You have people of lighter skin tones. You have people that are white. You have people that are dark. You have people that are blue, black. You have a variation of people, the variability. This is why what we were watching last night was so important with the geneticists saying, if you teach complexity, people will stop being racist or less racist, because when you show complexity, these groups cut across the board in physical appearance, geographical location, linguistic groups, cultures, religions, so on and so forth, phenotype, so on and so forth. You can be related to someone that looks nothing like you, that speaks a different language than you, that practices a different religion, different cultural practices and beliefs. It's just that simple, right? That's what we should be teaching at the bookstore, not this black supremacy bullshit that's just reverse engineered antebellum South racism. That's all it is.
Have expressed the gifts of the Holy Spirit, especially in the case of wisdom, because they was able to chart the skies, the doggone tribe. The Sumerians knew the order of the planets. These are Africans. It's in Africa. So I want to know what makes y'all so special.
Sumerians are not in Africa. Oh, let's show everybody what's Sumerian. Oh, these are Africans. It's in Africa. That's a Nuwapian shit coming out, bro. Sumeria. Where is Sumer at? Sumer. Not Sumeria, Sumer, right? Where is Sumer at? Let's go to, now we got to teach basic geology. Like, we always want to go into these deep topics. We really need to just take a step back and just learn basics, the basics of biology, the basics of anthropology, the basics of geology, the basics of archaeology, because we're trying to go to deeper topics and haven't even start with any of these things in a rudimentary level. And that's the problem. That's the motherfucking deal. All right. So anyway, watch this. Let's go over here. Boom. This is where Sumer is. It's in the Near East, not in Africa. It's not in the continent of Africa. What was he talking about? The Dogons are, but not these people. And the Dogons are Malians. Where's Mali at? Let me show you where Mali is. Mali. There's Mali right there. Right next to Mauritania and Niger. Northwest Africa. That's where it's at. You guys don't even claim a lot of these Afro blacks don't even claim North Africa. They don't even claim Mali. We always want to talk about the Dogon. The Dogon will be these people here. Most of them be like E1A, right? All right, let's go back. We just had that quick lesson of geography there.
After death, no sweat.
When they can express the
What
gifts of the Spirit.
wisdom? What wisdom are you talking about?
It's the way in, baby.
When you read Corinthians, the first and second, when you read Romans, when you read Galatians, when you read these are letters written to Israelites living in those cities. It's not written to everybody. But even when you read James 1:1, it says, James, a servant of the Most High in Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Meaning, an African can grab that Bible. But when he reads Corinthians and he see wisdom and stuff, and he think he got knowledge in his own brain, and he doing all these pieces from that Bible, when that Bible was never sent to him. That Bible was only written to a certain set of people. It's our, what do they call it, will and testament. That's for us. So now, the wisdom that it's talking about is the wisdom that will build a...
That's false. That's false. I've been in the camp. I know how all these little tactics or whatever. What they do is they try to get people away from plainly reading the scripture and have these esoteric meanings to everything instead of just saying, hey, use your eyeballs and use your common sense. Let's go to Mark 16, verse 15. Just real quick, just cut that and nip that in the bud. There's other scriptures. Let's just go to Mark 6:15. People that study anthropology and you know, they study the textual criticism. They say Mark may be the original copy or the oldest copy out there. So you go to Mark 16, verse 15. What does it say? What does it say? Let me go to there real quick. And there's a myriad of scriptures. What does that say right here? Mark 16, verse 15. No matter what kind of social category that you have that's made up, you know, within the last 500 years, this is what Mark 16, verse 15 says. He said to them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. That's what it says. Argument done. This black supremacist or white supremacist, because all you're doing is, you know, doing white supremacy in black face. That's all you're doing. Oh, is it just like what the KKK used to teach? Only the real Christians are white. It's the same thing. It's only for white people. You know, you just reverse engineer. Now it's only for black people. So it's all about skin color. So I guess when you grab a Bible, it scans your skin and check your melanin content before you're able to read it. And this is antithetical to the scripture. The scripture says, he said to them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. It's that simple. This is not hard, but you got to apply esoteric meanings to this stuff to come up with your BS and your bullshit. You're reading into the scripture, not reading the scripture. You're using eisegesis. That's the problem. And your eisegesis is fueled by your racial worldview. That's why y'all came up with this stuff. Anyway, let's go back.
Nation, according to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
Where does it say that at? Because I didn't read that just now.
You didn't read what?
That the wisdom that they are speaking about is the wisdom to build a nation.
No sweat. You didn't read that, right? No sweat.
I didn't read that in 1 Corinthians.
No sweat. Let me help you out.
Chapter 12.
Read that. Start at verse 7. Yeah, that's correct. Deuteronomy 6. I'm sorry.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6.
Hold on. Oh, we in Deuteronomy. No, we was reading 1 Corinthians chapter 12. This is the way in, baby.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord, my power, commanded me.
Now, this is what Moses gave to the children of Israel. He said, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments with the Most High gave to him, right? Read verse 6.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom.
Say it again.
For this is your wisdom.
So when you read Corinthians, give me Romans 15:4. When you read Corinthians, when it's saying the wisdom, it's talking about the law, statutes, and commandments, because that is our wisdom. It is wise for us to keep these laws.
Yeah, but the law, statutes, and commandments were not just to bloodline Israelites, as you guys try to teach. If you read the Old Testament, if you read those scriptures, it tells you that you should have one law for the natural born and one law for the stranger, and it's all the same. So you just read that over and over again. They never had this view that you guys have. Oh, only black people can do this. Only these certain people, and they believed all tribes was black during this time. They don't believe, they let Hispanics and Native Americans in. Well, they believe that those Hispanics and Native Americans would have been all black during the Bronze Age and all been Israelites during that time. They don't believe they changed colors or had morphological differences, anatomical differences until after the Assyrian invasion. See, I can say this because I was a part of a camp, so I know exactly what they fucking teach. You guys don't. They teach that once they mix with the Assyrians, then they develop lighter skin tones. That's what they teach. At this time, they think it was all black. They nothing. It's the same, rhetoric of Negro only. So let me just type in "Law of the Stranger." Like, this stuff is not hard. That's basic stuff, man. Law of the Stranger. Type that in. Law of the Stranger. Type in Bible. Right here. Let me get this one here. Well, that's so many. There's so many to go off of. It's so many. Let's just go here. There's a bunch of them here. When a stranger sojourns with you, this is Leviticus 19:33-34. In your land, you should not do him no wrong. You should treat the stranger who sojourns with you as a native among you. You should love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So there's a plethora of scriptures on this. Exodus 23:9, you should not oppress a sojourner. You know the heart of a sojourner, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. Leviticus 24:22, you shall have the same rule for the sojourner and for the native. For I am the Lord your God. So what are they talking about? This racial exclusivity is not found in the scripture at all. It's not found in the scripture at all. But you BHIs insist on keep using your dogma to reinforce these things. It says, Deuteronomy 10:18-19 says, he executes justice for the fatherless, the widow, and loves the sojourner, giving him food and clothing. Love the sojourner, therefore you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. So what is Tazariak talking about? It's not scriptural. It's all based on this white supremacy and blackface racial arguments. That's all it is. And a lot of you guys don't like me talking about this because you support this way of thinking. You don't support the biblical tradition. You support the racist tradition. That's what you support.
This is the way in, baby. Now, another one. Can you answer these questions without using interpolation?
What interpolation am I using? That's the truth.
Okay. Do we understand what interpolation means? That's what I'm asking.
Before you go to that, you took that wisdom to think that an African that can read a star, that makes him wise. But you know what he gonna do with that star? He gonna worship it. You know what the Arabs gonna do with that rock? They gonna worship it as a rock in Allah. That's what they gonna do. So that ain't no wisdom of the Most High. You know what we do with the stars? We observe the stars. We observe the times as a day and as a night. But we don't worship the sun. We don't worship the stars. Nor do we worship rock.
Polight was right about interpolation because Black Hebrew Israelites do that all the time. And let me show you. Let's just define that. So you guys have an understanding of what interpolation means. I remember watching this at first, and I looked it up and said, damn, interpolation, what does that mean? Interpolation. Basic vocabulary here.
Interpolation. Interpolation.
The insertion of something of a different nature into something else. A remark interjected in a conversation. So that's what interpolation is. You're basically reading into the scripture, esoterically defining the scripture, eisegetically doing it. You're putting your own twist and your own biases into it instead of just reading what the scripture says. And Polight he scored points. He absolutely was correct about that. He scored points. You understand? Let's go back. Polight actually did better in this little pre-battle or whatever, preliminary, than he did in the actual debate, because I do still have him losing that debate because he was off topic. He wasn't even dealing with the topic. Here's a synopsis or a brief summary of what took place during the debate between Tazariak and Polight, the official one. Polight basically was trying to say that these guys are government agents. That he literally tried to make an argument for them being FBI government agents because they have a 501(c)(3). That was his angle. Instead of battling the information, he went with that, and then he started talking about the Brahmins, and he was completely off topic. How anyone says he won that is just beyond me. Tazariak at least stuck to the topic, and then is his information strong? No, but he stuck to the fucking topic. It's just that simple. He won. Spoiler alert.
So that's the difference between wisdom. Did you get the script from me? Read that out.
Brother, before you read that,
go ahead.
I want to know, if I ask a question, will you respond to it or will you do this? Because this happens on the street, and then that's
Will I do what? I'm breaking down. You said
no problem. But
okay, no
I asked if it's possible. I just want to know, is it possible that when you break that down, is it possible for you to not use interpolation? That's what I asked you.
What interpolation am I using?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you know what interpolation means?
Why don't you just tell me what interpolation am I using?
Because you've been answering this whole time, so I presume you didn't know what it means. But if you don't know what it means, I'll tell you.
If I'm asking you to just tell me what interpolation I'm using, then you can assume that I know what it means. So just tell me, what interpolation am I using?
The Bible. If you knew what interpolation meant, you wouldn't be doing this. But there's interpretation and there's interpolation. And what happens is, interpretation is what you grasp.
I can go back and forth.
This is the way in, baby. Oftentimes when I ask questions, we want to read in another verse or scripture, and I'm asking, first and foremost, no problem. If I ask a question, because I see where this is going, and if that's where it's going to go, I will much rather go into a more profound dialogue. And what I'm saying by that is this. If we are going to use interpolation to answer the questions, then we are going to be in the game of the religious world that keeps people arguing. And then I'll refrain from that. And we can go into questions that make it harder for you to interpolate. And what I mean by that is this. Interpretation is what you grasp from something, your understanding, your comprehension. And that's interpretation. Interpolation is when you start adding inserts on. What he did to answer that question, he went to another verse, making an account on what wisdom is, and then presumes, okay, that is the interpretation for wisdom in another verse. That's called interpolation. None of us will know this is actually true. This is what he chooses to do. So I simply ask, can we refrain from using interpolation? I don't mind you using interpretation, but once you start adding inserts, excerpts, cutting them out and bringing them to another side, saying the definition for wisdom there is the definition for wisdom here. Throughout the whole Bible, the word wisdom had to be used more than 2 times. And I'm pretty sure every time the word wisdom is used in the Bible, it doesn't correspond with that definition. Do everybody agree with that?
Right. Polight is on point, man. Polight had a great, like I said, he was better in the preliminary, even though it was infused with a lot of pseudo doctrines like, oh, women can reproduce without the use of a male. Violating basic biology, but he was correct on this point, and he actually was shining during this portion of this rhetorical rhetoric match they're having right
now. Okay, so what I'm saying is, what makes you have the right to affix that definition to the word wisdom in previous books? So if you can't refrain from interpolation, I will humble myself and say I'm not interested in what you have to say at that point. I would rather ask you another question to challenge. Thank you, brother. This is the way in, baby. As far as religion is concerned, based on how you constructed it, I do this quite often, and I say that we have to make modifications in our common customs. Okay? Culture is the key word. I'll use the word religion. Yes. Why not? Why not have a religion? Why not? Based on what he said, organized premises for the purposes of edifying the people. The problem where we go wrong is this. We try to solve our 2013 problems with 1960s methodologies. We try to solve our 2013 problems with 2,000 years ago doctrines. We try to solve our 2013 problems with doctrines that were created 1,400 years ago. And this is where we go wrong, because we need something that makes subscriptions to that which is transpiring today. So this is why in New Covenant, we teach that we have to make modifications in our common customs. And what this means is the precipitation of culture. Oftentimes I'm not, and I'm always told that you're trying to sound smart or you're talking over people's heads. But I know I'm not talking to foolish people, and sometimes there's some words that best describe or exemplify what I mean. So what this is called is culture, and culture is a...
I actually agree. I halfway agree with Polight on this. You do have to make modifications for our modern world or teach things that will benefit us in our modern world. Like today, what will benefit us in our modern world, I always say it, is you guys will learn a skill, and that will solve your financial woes because you get a skill that's in demand that people are willing to pay you for, right? There's certain people that all they do is sit on a computer all day and they make $160,000 a year. How about you learn to be interested in that and go get the necessary skills to pursue that, right? Stuff of that nature. So I agree with him on that basis. Where I feel shaky about this because I know his record, his track record is not good. He's pretty much a scam artist, like a lot of those guys over there. They're very much scam artists, and they really don't teach anything to help or progress peoples in general. All they do, or they're just charlatans putting on a show to siphon money out of the black community. But anyway, that's for a whole nother topic.
Calculative system that precipitates. Okay, common customs is a calculative system that precipitates culture. We need common customs. Religion. I don't like the word so much so, but he defined it in such a way, I'm going to call it common customs. It's a calculative system that precipitates culture. By a process of differentiation and integration, we're able to find the value of smaller things and factorials of those equivalents, thus granting us permutations. I'll give an example of
all that shit is bullshit. See, that's word salad. That's where you lose people. It's one thing to sound smart and intelligent, but that sentence is probably unintelligible if we break it down. That right there is unnecessary. That word salad stuff to try to woo people by stringing a bunch of words together, multi-syllabic words together to try to make it seem as if what you're saying is intellectually superior. That's the issue with Polight because he does that a lot. Trying to woo people over, and the crowd doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and he knows that. You know, and this goes back what I said earlier. We got to start with the basics and build people up from there. You're trying to just woo them with this Star Trek terminology and phraseology. You ain't getting nobody nowhere. And it's done because he's a charlatan and he's trying to impress people with that. And hopefully the people will say, well, he's right on all his points because he sounds like he's right. Or he's using this word salad and I'm moved by it. I don't know what he meant. You know, it's just like when you leave a church on Sunday, you know, you ask the person say, oh, that sermon was good. I'm like, oh, okay, what was it about? I don't know, but it was good. Because you just wooed and mystified. That's all.
Permutations, and these permutations are going to grant us the least adverse effects from the decisions that we make. That is the purpose of culture, to grant you the least adverse effects from the decisions that you make. We cannot use what took place 2,000 years ago to arrive to a conclusion that takes place today. When Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had the brothers out there selling bean pies as an example, back in his day, we were not leading the world in diabetes back then. So it suffices to say that we should change the ingredients of the bean pie or the popular food in that community. But you see, if we keep practicing it the same way, if I was a member of the Nation of Islam and we keep selling the same bean pie, disregarding the fact that today we have a diabetic problem that didn't exist 60 years.
I agree with Polight on this, and I hate agreeing with Polight because Polight, but again, I try to separate the person from their words. Polight has been in some serious doo-doo, so to speak, in the last few years, court proceedings. We don't know what his future is going to be like. He might be in prison for the rest of his damn life. We don't know. But anyway, what he's saying is actually on point. Like, over time, you see certain things you have to make adaptations and adjustments to. You can't just practice things just because, oh, these people practice it, so it's good for me. No, I agree with him on that. There has to be change and modification and adjustment to the times that we live in today.
Years ago, that's what religion does to you. The bad part of religion. It keeps you in a box or in a square like a mime, and you're not thinking outside the context of a certain time that took place and adverse effects that affect those people during that day and time. So what I'm saying is culture protects the people from themselves. How? If I set up a beef patty and cocoa bread shop in the Jewish community, will the Jews buy from me? And why won't they? They won't buy from me, not because I am black. No. It goes deeper than that. Their culture doesn't make subscriptions to that food, first and foremost. Okay? And part of their law is to patronize each other, first of all. So when there's a Jewish wedding or a Sabbath and they have the challah bread, black people can make the challah bread, but they made modifications in their common customs where they understand part of their religion is to patronize each other first. They learned they had to do that to sustain themselves. So what I'm saying is we as a people have to understand we have the dare to create some laws that fit the mold of what we live in today. When I said by process of differentiation and integration, all that means is if you had a red top, a red headdress, a blue headdress, a green headdress, a yellow headdress, and a black shirt, a white shirt, and a brown shirt, and blue pants, black pants, and orange pants, and a white sneaker, blue sneaker, green sneaker, orange sneaker. I will ask you, how many different combinations of outfits can you come out with? That's called permutations. What the community has to do is say, we have to take some things out, put some things in. If it don't work for us, take some things out, put some things in. Keep three things. Remove.
That's a scientific method right there too. You hypothesize something, you test it, base it against the evidence. If it doesn't work, you shift some things, you adjust some things, you get rid of it altogether. That method works. Instead of trying to keep doing the wrong thing over and over again, or something that doesn't work over and over again. That keeps you sharp. That keeps you on top of things instead of using things that may be antiquated or archaic.
One thing until we get the right formula. But when we try to use the methodologies that were employed thousands of years ago to fix a 2013 problem, there were no credit cards then. So the Bible can't answer for that. You understand? There were no mortgages then. The Bible can't answer for that. Interest in a lot of ancient cultures wasn't even allowed. There's no answer for that. Rampant homosexuality in communities where we are boxed in projects. It's a different dynamic. Not that homosexuality never existed, but the constraint that we are living in today demands that the people start thinking for themselves. Not in lieu of the fact that there was some purported God that exists that is going to be mad at us if we make modification in the laws, because some laws have met its maturity date, while new laws have taken effect that are incurring stress on the people today. So yes, we need to be able to construct something that will work against the divisive tool that have been used to bring down the people, which is the Bible and all these other religions. Don't be afraid to think for yourself and organize as a people to construct rules and regulations for y'all to live by that may contradict or outdate that which has been presented to you, because we live in a different...
And that's so funny because he said the Bible has been a divisive tool used to bring down peoples. Yeah, people may have who believe in the Bible and Christendom or whatever did do those things, but to try to say that the source of the Bible is just all negative, or the Bible itself is inherently negative or negatively impacted Black Americans, it's just a tool made to get rid of minorities, it's all hogwash point of view. Science itself, modern science itself, pretty much has been awarded a lot of its birth from people that come from that vein, that thought process of belief in a God, higher power, or Christianity, or believing in the Bible. Let me show this quote real quick. I wanted to show it in another show, but I forgot to do it. So anyway, let's go here. Let's go to the return of the God hypothesis, just to point that out real quick, because they always go to this extreme conclusion that, oh, well, the Bible's a divisive weapon. No, it's not. People took the Bible like Tazariak and interpret it and make it as a weapon for a race and all that other stuff, but the Bible itself is not that. Let me see if I can find this quick quote about modern science. So let me see if I can get it. Well, we know Newton, Galileo, Kepler, Copernicus. I want to find this one quote about the origins of modern science. Occam's razor. The law of parsimony, all of these things come from Christian minds, religious minds. Blase. Real quick, let me get it, and then we'll read that, because people don't want to hear that, but it's the case. It's the case. Oh, I don't want to hear that, man. I hate the Bible. I hate God and all that other stuff. I'll deal with science. Well, science has its origin through Christians, Bible believers. All right. And the rise of theistic science. Why there when? Let me just find. Give me a minute, y'all. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this one quote out of this book. Right here. These historians note that the belief in God. Let me go back. Science stood for freedom and progress. Warfare, the conflict model. Give me a minute. It's been a while since I've been in this book, so King explains the comfort, origin, light stimulation. Let me do it like this. Maybe this will be faster. Type in Hebrew Bible. Right here. Numerous. Right here. I found it, y'all. Let me just share my screen here. Boom, window, boom. This is the Return of the God Hypothesis, page 53 to 54. It says here, for Newton as for Boyle and Descartes, there were laws of nature only because there had been a divine legislature. Numerous historians and philosophers of science, as well as few scientists themselves, have made this connection. Some have even identified the Hebrew Bible as the ultimate source of the metaphor. As the Nobel laureate and University of California, Berkeley chemist Melvin Calvin argued, the notion of an order of nature was discovered 2,000 to 3,000 years ago and enunciated first in the Western world by ancient Hebrews. Calvin notes that the monotheistic worldview of the ancient Hebrews suggested a reason to expect a single coherent order in nature and thus a single universally applicable set of laws governing the natural world. The ancient Hebrews, on the other hand, thought that, as Calvin puts it, the universe is governed by a single God and is not the product of whims of many gods, each governing his own province according to his own laws. Calvin, like many historians and philosophers of sciences, identified this belief in an order-loving monotheistic God as the historical foundation for modern science. That's where you get modern science from. Again, Galileo, Occam's razor, Newton, all these guys were Boyle, all these guys were Christians. All these guys believed in the Bible. They believed in the Hebrew Bible. They believed that the universe was in order because of that, because of the divine legislator, so on and so forth. As you guys can see, this comes from this book here. The Return of God Hypothesis by Stephen C. Meyer. Let's go back to the video. People clicked off the video. I don't want to hear that shit. That's history. That's history. Oh, I can't even deal with science when I'm having to deal with. Yeah, you can't. And it is what it is. Why you guys upset? Don't matter. Keep doing what we got to do here. Brothers get mad. The atheist brothers get mad because science has its origin with Christians.
I'm upset.
Day and time, use your brain.
This the way in, baby.
The brother Polight said we have to change because what worked 2,000 years ago don't apply now. He brought up the diabetes and everything like that. There's a Levitical law that will prevent diabetes. Totally. There's food you can eat, food you can't eat. That's written 5,000 years ago. That if we followed, we would be in a better condition. As far as our plight in America, being able to establish something, you had plenty of black people that got together and established things. Black Wall Street was one of them. The problem is they wasn't serving a religion. You cannot, serving a God. They wasn't serving the law, statutes, and commandments that the Bible speaks about, that the Most High speaks about. You can't get yourself into any culture because culture doesn't give you rules of not getting high, of not being a homosexual.
But he brought up the Tulsa incident with the Black Wall Street, which is has been mythicized. It's not a myth, but it has been mythicized in the community. One of the myths is that it was destroyed and never came back. That's a lie. It was rebuilt and it was successful. What ended Black Wall Street is integration, which happened 40 years after Black Wall Street was bombed. But no one teaches that because, again, no one bothers to read anything. No one goes and research. They just go off what these pundits say and then run with it. Instead of saying, you know what, let me fact check this real quick. Let me go do my own research. Let me see what they're saying can be qualified with information. No one never does that. They just say, oh, well, my spiritual leader said that. My Moray said that. Polight said it, so therefore I'm rocking with it. That's the idiocy. That's why idiocy is replete in this community. Right? So that's a lie. He also is it's misinformation to say that these people were not well behaved. Because when you say, oh, they needed laws, they were well behaved people. They were Christians, but they were well behaved. Who cares? They didn't deserve to get bombed. They got bombed because of racial ideologies like the one you push. These Southerners were Democrat, Dixiecrat people, and they believed that blacks were inferior, and they did not, they did not deserve to have a successful city. So they went and blew them up. They taught the same thing you teach, racial supremacy. Same shit you teach today. That's why they were wiped out. And guess what? Those people bounced back and they were successful, and they still dealt with upper mobility for 40 plus more years after that event happened, which no one teaches because everybody wants to be a perpetual victim. They want Black Americans to be a perpetual victim. That's why we never hear success stories coming out the mouth of these Afrocentrics, Black Hebrew Israelites. They never talk about the successes of African Americans, only talk about the woes of African Americans to paint the narrative that we're perpetual victims.
You can get in any religion and get high. You can get in any religion and be a homosexual. You can't do that with the Bible. You can't step up a little bit, goodbye. You cannot fully serve this Bible and not be against homosexuality, not be against certain things you can eat, certain things you can't eat. You cannot say certain people you can get along with, certain people you can't get along with. Now,
that last part was interesting. He said, certain people you can't get along with. That's racism. Oh, you can't get along with white people. You can't get along with. That's racism. You shouldn't have any dealings with them. They against. They support miscegenation, right? Anyone outside the group they think you should be mixing with, you can't mix with. It's just stuff like that, man. You're playing out of the antebellum Democrat, Dixiecrat playbook. That's what you're doing. Anyway, let's go back. And then that's part 3. Let's go to part 4. Analyze, criticize that. And then we'll go to part 5.
This is actually a gift to the community because no matter how good someone is at teaching their doctrine, you understand more of it when someone outside of it asks questions. That goes for everybody. So it's good to have these forums because it gives you a critical analysis of what people are teaching. It gives you a psychological evaluation of the people that are part of the communities as well.
What? In the bookstore? In the bookstore? In the bookstore?
Yo, I want to give y'all a shout out what's coming up right here at Black and Nobel, man. This is what we doing that big. That's why we came all the way out here from Harlem to bring it to Black and Nobel. I mean, December the 7th is going down with Brother Polight and the Hebrew Israelite, and you can see it get real heated at the end. So expect this type of tension coming. And then before that, we got Brother Shaka Upmost going up against Imam Bashir. The boy married China. Power shout out to our brothers and sisters right there at Black and Nobel. This is your brother Sarnetta. Peace.
That's exactly why we like to maintain a level of energy that everybody can come at the same place and talk intelligently amongst one another.
So it's definitely worth coming through. Yeah. I know the brother know a whole lot more than what I see. UPK, yeah. I know he know a lot about science, but you know how you argue with your friends and you deal with your brother, or you and your family together, and y'all argue with somebody, and they might be going on one of your family members. You're not going to laugh at what they say about your family members. So, you know, of course, you're not going to agree that you know something about science and something pertains to life. You talking about.
They were not teaching science. The Polight side was not teaching science, man. They were teaching pseudoscience. They were saying that women could produce females without the aid of males. That is not science. You cannot. If I had a child and he came home with a biology book teaching that shit, I'm burning it. That is not science. That's pseudoscience. That's not being taught in no institution. That is something that was created and made up by some feminists. That's it.
A woman supposed to give birth to a child without, you know what I mean, a man. It's the same thing about Jesus.
And I'm glad he pointed out. He said, "Oh, you're going against a woman that gave birth," and that a lot of y'all about to click off. I don't care. I'll talk to the two people remaining. Isn't that the same story about Jesus, his birth? Yeah, you guys do believe the same thing. You do believe a woman didn't need the aid of a man. With your immaculate conception or whatever, which a lot of you guys believe in. So go ahead and click off. You're going to be upset, but that's the same thing. That's unscientific. It's pseudoscientific. Most likely Joseph, I'm not going to say most likely. If that story actually happened, Joseph is the father of Jesus. It's just that simple. You're violating biology too.
They book and then he said there's no life, so.
You can't sit there and say anybody in the Bible would be more special because everybody went to Egypt in their own biblical text to get the knowledge. And then they came out of that and became something and so on. And that's just religiously between the first 5 books. So I like to listen.
That point right there, everybody went to Egypt. Well, Egypt is a Near Eastern country that speaks an Afro-Asiatic language. It's always been that way for thousands and thousands of years, especially during the dynastic period and pre-dynastic. So, yeah, these people would have been Afro-Asiatic. I don't get the point. Jews are Afro-Asiatic. The people that wrote the Bible are Afro-Asiatic speakers. They have an Afro-Asiatic culture, just like Egyptians have an Afro-Asiatic culture, so on and so forth. That's why there's similarities like circumcision and stuff of that nature. Because they're both coming from the same similar stock of cultural practices, which is Afro-Asiatic. So that point didn't make no damn sense. And ancient Egypt was not a wholly black place. Let me pull it up because that's what they think. Oh, no, that's a black heartland or black mother. No, it's not. It's not. You guys, again, your core of your argument is always race-based and skin color-based. It's always that. There's nothing beyond that, nothing more than that. It's always that. So Kindle, let me open up my Kindle. It usually takes a little time to warm up, man. Let me open that up real quick and go to that and address that, man. Yeah, of course, you're going to have to say stuff like that. My faith supersedes that. No, it had nothing to do with that. Two people got together and made a child. That's it. Two people got together and make a child. It says set up. Well, so anyway. You had blue, black Egyptians. You had lighter skin, pale skin Egyptians. You had intermediate Egyptians. You had all in between.
It's like if we can come together and debate, that's cool. You see what I'm saying? I think all these scholars, whether they self-made or whatever, need to sit down at the table and before they debate, they need to have somebody bring Dr. Umar or somebody in and deal with the male ego first before all this shit pops off. You see what I'm saying? It can't be personal like that if it's about energy, if it's about uplifting the people. You understand what I'm saying? The debate's more for whoever moderates this shit to say, yo, check your ego. It's time to check your ego. You feel me? Peace and respect.
Black and Nobel, what's going on?
It got a little heated there, moderator, because you between two forces and you try and moderate. So tell me your take on the whole situation.
I think chords was touched, nerves was leaned on. You understand?
Well, Yah's botanical, if that's the case, miracles don't have to be explained scientifically, then okay, all that sister have to say is, well, I'm not dealing with that. I'm dealing with miracles. Then a woman can do it because you believe the same thing she believes in, and a woman can produce a child without the aid of a man. Same shit. There's no difference. Let me see if this is popped up yet. Why does it says Kindle be installed? It shouldn't be installed. I already have Kindle. Son of a gun. Anyway.
You know what I'm saying? Brothers get a little bit, excited. Topic. Sometimes they step outside themselves. You understand? Polight is my brother. The Israelites are my brothers. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have the same ideology as either one of them. You dig it? So, they both my brothers. It's just something that happens sometimes. But, to me, it's all love. And I forgot about it the minute I walked to the back of the room. So, it was my first time at Black and Nobel. It's a beautiful spot. You understand? Anybody listening that's in the area or coming through feeling you need to come through and stop here, support these brothers so that they can keep doing things like this. All right? Death to the Negro. Black power.
All them DVDs in the building, shopping and screwing, baby.
God.
How you feeling?
Doing what we do. Black stand strong.
Right.
All right, I think that last statement was completely idiotic. Like, the dudes are out of line and trying to have a fight at an event. Talking about, I forgot about it in 4 seconds. That's your problem. You coddle these people. Right? Anyway, let's go. You make excuses for bad behavior of Black Americans. Let's stop the stream. Let's go to my Kindle real quick. Let's go to Kindle. And from there, let's go to where's the book at? Ancient Near Eastern History and Culture. There it is. Because, brothers like, all these people went to Egypt. And he's trying to say that, he's implying that all these people were going through Egypt to get their knowledge because he thinks that that's the homeland. Let me go to the major code. Are you serious? There we go. That's the homeland of all Black people, or Black people emanate from Egypt or whatever. And that was just a so holy Black place. That's how they taught it back then, right? Let's go. But again, they're looking through the world through their skin, their lens of skin tone and race. See if I can find it here. I know it's in this book where it talks about the skin color, and it addresses Afrocentric arguments and Eurocentric arguments about ancient Egypt. Afrocentric say it was a wholly Black, and then Eurocentric say it was wholly white. They're both wrong. They're both wrong. And Southern Lamont, Oh, let's do it like this. Type in blue, black. There we go. All right, so right here, it says after 10,000 BC, as the weather began to become drier, Egypt became a magnet for immigrants from North Africa, Sinai, Palestine, and the southern regions of the Nile. So Egypt was a melting pot, as I recapitulated on several times to ad nauseum. These groups blended with one another to form a population of ancient Egypt, which physically was much the same in antiquity as it is today. In the Nile Valley, physical types varied so gradually that differences were perceptible only between places widely separated geographically. Skin color, for example, gradually changed from predominantly tan or olive in the Delta to an almost blue-black near the Nile sources. So you had both extremes of blue-black, and you had lighter skin tones in ancient Egypt. It's that simple. Right? This was not a place that was wholly black. You cannot sustain that. You cannot substantiate that with academic sources. You can't substantiate that with up-to-date science. These people were light-skinned and dark-skinned in ancient Egypt. It's that simple. So Eurocentrics and Afrocentrics are wrong about that. Anyway, let's go back to that video. Let's go back to that video.
Listening to the message.
Right. So
enjoying the flavor, brother. You know, just definitely what it is. You know, we look forward to the 7th. You know, the reality is that we always have to recognize that there is various differences of opinion in the community. Our truths are most of the time just at our personal truths. The realities of how it all kind of like, if I can say, hands out is real strictly based on what our knowledge base is. Our knowledge bases basically come from other individuals, no matter how we look at it. The formation of those truths can only be truly identified if we do the actual research, excavation, but more so if we were there. So, in essence, at this particular time, you have to be willing to formulate or evolve from those particular older traditions, but they're still foundational works. But reality is that we are all, if I can say, we are all the sum total of those who came before, those who are, and those who shall be of the future. So we are just a continuous in the line of all of us. So, you know, the Dr. Clarks, the Dr. Benz, you never saw the debates, but there is an evolving that's taking place. So at this particular time, that's what people need. They need to kind of like toughen themselves up. So, you know, I personally say it was pretty good, pretty high. But at the same time, is it all correct? Is it all true? Nah, because ultimately, nobody in this particular room was there at that particular time when all of this began. So therefore, nobody is correct. But because we can evolve and we can take those particular things, and as we go, and as I said earlier, through our own excavation, our own research, and look into our own dynamics as far as who we are as an original, we can come up with ideas and we can evolve. And that's really what this is about, evolve.
It's for the knowledge, you see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. I mean, if we could focus on that and understand whatever the route is to us coming together as one and respect the route. You see what I'm saying? You feel me?
Hopefully we'll be able to get the fire out, and now we can deal more with the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? We can do more with that. We get the fire out.
You know, we are all we all are making good progress. You know what I'm saying? And we all have to get our understanding together. But when the teachers beef, you never learn nothing. And that's real. Except how to do it.
Right off the Barnary sub-stop, Philadelphia, PA.
I want to hear that PA rap. I got better rap music to listen to. I want to hear that. Let's go to part 5 and wrap this up, y'all. Anyway, let's go to part 5.
Where we train and build men up to actually learn how to serve the Most High, learn how to build a nation, which is established by laws. A lot of things get said from that brother, from myself, from Christian church, from Islam, from all different denominations. But if you don't establish laws and foundations for any nation, regardless of their nationality whatsoever, they would never be able to.
Instead of us just letting that be what it is, we're going to probably show more of it, of what y'all really do, instead of just the debate, because some people don't know.
They don't understand.
And you got to remember, the internet is worldwide.
Right.
So it's not like they see, in Harlem.
Right. But we got tons of videos on YouTube and our website.
No, you know what I mean? Probably it's your market or your genre. I guarantee you it's mostly Hebrew Israelites that watch it, so we get to expose it to the world.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm down with that. You know I'm down with that. I can't argue with that. Do your thing.
Thank you, bro. So,
you know,
appreciate y'all coming up.
Hey, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. See, we like him, you know, we mutual with everybody because we got to make sure that everybody's heard.
Right.
And read because we sell books.
Okay.
So
you gonna be at the debate or?
Yeah, we doing a bus trip from there.
Oh, they gonna get, we're gonna slaughter them, right?
Gonna slaughter them?
Oh, they gonna get slaughtered, man.
Okay, well let the camera know that, not me.
Oh, of course, we did ISUPK Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Officer Tazaria is going to be heading the debate against the Egyptologist December the 7th.
His name is Brother Polight.
Against Brother Polight, that's right. ISUPK, we slaughtering them. We are the prophets and the priests of the Most High power, and y'all check it out. Y'all see.
Yeah.
Y'all get more informed on what we all about, what we teach. Of course, we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites. We the people. We're one nation of people. We're the seed of a man named Israel. All right, so shalom. How about Shim Yahushua Barakatah?
Come back with the dictionary if you want.
But being in truth is like it taught me like how to live my whole life. So like when I go to school or something.
Yo, what the fuck? This nigga wearing that shit is, what is that, pleather? Why does it look like that? Why is it like off his body? Is that like natural? Like, what is that? Somebody in the chat tell me that, man. What is he wearing, man? All right.
I know like how to act in school. I don't gotta act like a fool or nothing. I can teach other people like how to live my life. Like you can't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. You can't sleep with whores. You got when you stay with a woman, you with her forever. You can't leave her at all. So it's like being a child in truth is like teaching me like so when I get older, I ain't gotta sell drugs in the corner. I ain't gotta sleep with prostitutes. I ain't gotta bow down to the white man, work in the Christian church, you know.
Right. That's what's up, man. Young brother, yeah, young brother.
Young brother, raised up in the truth.
That's
all
what's
right,
up.
Shalom.
Peace.
Your people's came to speak with Polight. I want to ask you, why y'all use reference to the Torah?
Why don't we use say that one more time?
To the Torah.
What you mean reference to the Torah?
As the book of study. I was raised as a Hebrew Israelite, and I keep hearing y'all see the Bible. When the brother came and told me Polight, you never once used the Torah for any scripture. All he kept saying was the Bible.
That's because
it's broken down as, correct me if I'm wrong, this is how I was totally studying. The Torah is the first 5 books.
That's right.
Tanakh is the Old Testament, the Old Testaments that they have scattered through the Bible, the Holy Bible. And then, but nobody speaks of that. I haven't heard y'all speak of it outside of nothing.
Okay, now here's the problem, and you can check it out. The whole Bible was given for us to read and study and understand. Not just, and a lot of people always say the Torah, which is the laws. That's where you're gonna find the laws that our people was given. It was given to our people from the Most High. But the New Testament was that, and in the law it told you that there would be a man from our nation that the Lord would choose, that he would be sitting in the seat, and he would come from the lineage of David, who is our king, Christ, Yahweh Shah in the Hebrew. He is the one we supposed to be following. He's the one we supposed to be following, and he's the one that gave his life so that we can come back to the Most High. So you can't
just say just the Torah or the Tanakh. You got to go by the Old, the New Testament, and the Apocrypha. Apocrypha in the Greek mean the hidden books, which was taken out by the Catholic Church. So, you know, you got to go by all three.
I just wanted to ask you that question. Okay. You summed it up for me, though.
Okay, don't sweat. All right, brother. Yeah, listen, you come and check out our classes online too, and get all of your questions answered. If it ain't the UPK, it's a lie. I know it's hard to look at that and see it. I don't give a damn if it's another Israelite group. I don't care if it's some break off. It
ain't the UPK, it's a lie. So it's a supremacist within a supremacist organization, man. So think about that real quick. Look at them knuckles, man. Get you some, you know what I'm saying? Have your little pocket lotion, you know what I'm saying? Rubbing on your knuckles and your fingers and your joints, have them nice and right. I know it's cold up there. You'll get ashy, man. I don't have that problem down here in the South again, man. I was up there in the North dealing with those strange weather patterns y'all be dealing with, man. But nah, man, like it seems harmless the way he's bringing it out. But what that guy said earlier about bowing down to the white man and stuff like that lets you know what they're teaching. You can still see that plastic to the left. You can see that plastic jumpsuit he got on.
And another religion. If it ain't the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, it is a lie. It's false. It's some false religion. It ain't the truth. All right, that's so. All right, now.
Good. Prophesy unto you a false vision. They prophesy unto you a false vision. They prophesy unto you a false vision. Where that being in Christianity benefited black people. Where that benefited being in Islam helped black people, man. Where that benefit us from being in these religions, black people. The Lord said this. He said the prophets that black people have set up for themselves has prophesied lies in his name. Everybody want to act like they came of the Most High. When you look at the Christian church is the most evilest thing that ever walked the earth, man. Why you think there's so many homosexuals in a Christian church? Why you think so many little boys get molested in a Christian church? So they prophesize lies in his name. I sent them not. The Lord commanded them. The Bible say he didn't send these Uncle Tom set out me.
Uncle Tom,
y'all gotta understand what we saying back here. We saying that all these religions that black people are in are lies. We saying how the Lord didn't send none of their prophets to help us, man.
And Moses was 2 different times. So that time after Moses and after Noah.
I was doing all this, and you got these long fringes, look like fucking Party City shit. Like, God, this is bad, bro. This is bad. How's any of this helping anybody, progressing anything? Like, that's why I said this community is antithetical to education. Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't even remember this even being a part of the main thing. I don't remember watching this back in the Gap.
He was allowed to eat anything.
We bringing out the truth according to the Bible. You understand? We ain't out here to make no friends. We out here to help black people get off crack. I know you're wrong. We out here to help black women to stop being lesbians. We out here to help black people stop being disgusting sinners, man. We got all the proof. The Bible is the proof. We got all proof. The Bible prophesied us going into slavery, man. The Bible back up what we got to say, man. We said what the Bible told us to say, man. That's right. You bring it now. Like, we ain't out here to be intimidated by nobody, man. The Bible tells us to say, man. We ain't no Christians out here, man. We ain't no Christians.
I don't give a fuck who you is.
What proof you need on what? What proof on what? Where's your proof? Where's your proof? Prove to me that Islam is right. I can tell you're a Muslim. Prove it.
It already is.
You can't prove Islam is right. And here's the thing about you black Muslims. You are not no Arab. How in the world you gonna try to be an Arab? That's like a man trying to. You know what that's like? You know what it's like to try to be.
That's racial essentialism. So he's saying you can't be a Muslim, you can't practice Islam if you're not an Arab or categorized as an Arab. Again, that's racial essentialism, and this is all the core of these arguments. All the backbone of all these arguments derive from this racial essentialism thing. Well, only Muslims can be this, and only Christians can be this, only whites can be this. All these arguments are flawed because of that. Anyone can absorb, adopt, and practice a damn culture, no matter what your ethnic or racial background may be.
Arab, that's like a man trying to be a woman. You ain't gonna never be a woman. You ain't gonna never be an Arab. You can go over there and bow your head. You can go over there and kiss the rock all you want. And your people is right here. Your people are black people, man. That's what you don't understand. You look at the Arabs like they something great. The Arabs is garbage, man. Black people are you above an Arab.
He says the Arabs are garbage. If there was white people streaming it on the corner, or Arabs, let's say there's Arabs, Middle Eastern Arabs or Arabian people on the corner streaming that black people are garbage. Again, you guys will want them exiled. You guys will want police to get involved. You guys will want them excommunicated. You want the YouTube channel shut down. You want all the businesses shut down. You want all those things, man. This is what I'm talking about. This I'm the only one that's trying to point this shit out. All you other guys are in agreement with it. He said, your shoe had me over here putting lotion on my hands. I mean, that brother was all, I mean, come on, man. You got to do better than that, man. Brother was ashy all on his digits, man.
Do we have the Quran? Give me the Quran. This is what we're saying. According to God, the black man, woman, and child who came over here on stage said, give me Deuteronomy 28. Give me Deuteronomy 28. We understand it because we love black people. Black people been kissing the Arab's ass way too long. We've been kissing the white man's ass way too long. We've been loving Chinese people way too long. And we still in the ghetto dying off track. And
those two don't go together. Just because someone has a admiration of another group like Arabs, white people, whatnot. What does that have to do with crack, bro? Like y'all trying to, that's a false equivocation. And what's wrong with people admiring other groups? Oh, I forgot. You can't do that because you have this racial ideology that says you only stick with black people and that's it. You can only love black people. You can only marry black people. You can only learn from black people. You can only talk to black people. You can only get along with, just like Tazariak said, with other black people. That don't make no goddamn sense. And again, y'all pushing antebellum South racism. That's all you guys are. Antebellum South racist organization. And that's it.
and pills and weed. These religions ain't helped us. So what we saying, black people, this is the answer to coming out of poverty. This is the answer to stop hurting each other and murdering each other. This is the answer to stop selling drugs to each other. This is the answer to get off crack. This is the answer to not be an enemy to the Almighty God. Because guess what? Our arms are too short to box with God. We can get mad with God all we want, but we can't hurt God. He can't hurt us, brother. God can't hurt us. You can't hurt God. I can't hurt God. So the best thing we better do is shut our mouth and do what God wants. Don't that seem sensible? Don't that seem like the right thing to do? Let me show you. Who are those people that came on the stage too? But brother, you ain't saying fuck us. You saying fuck God. That's what you said. I ain't offended. Because I'm not the one who wants you to change your life. Your God is. Your God is. And your God is the God of Israel, brother. That's all we said. We got a lot of angry black men. We done came up in hell under the white man. White man done pressed the hood. Our mothers been on crack. Our aunts have been whores. Our sisters are prostitutes. Our girlfriends are stripping their ass at the clubs. No wonder why our brother mad. I understand why you're mad. But the answer ain't to hate your people more. The answer is to find out.
He said, fuck all y'all fuck niggas. Look, we are not African. This is right here. This is deplorable. So they show hunter-gatherer foraging groups doing dispersion things like sticking their head up in what is that? A cow? That's called cow blowing, and it's not. Africans are not the only ones to do that. People in India do it. But anyway, this is very racist material that these guys are fucking racist, bro. So, like I keep saying, these are rednecks of the past, bro. It's no different. Look what they did. Look at the post they made. Oh, look, he got a plate in his lip. Oh, look at these people. We're related to some of these people, man. Oh man, this is bad. This is terrible.
How God said to bring our people together, man. We're supposed to be brothers. We're supposed to love each other, but we ain't gonna love it. Worshiping the white man is Jesus. Jesus was a black man. We ain't gonna come together loving God like a white God when God is black, according to the scrolls, man. We ain't gonna love each other and stop murdering each other as long as we kissing white people behind and thinking that they the greatest on the earth.
If you get your racial ideology and the way you think about race and continental races and stuff like that from white people, from people from Germany, Blumenbach, so on and so forth, Linnaeus, the list goes on and on and on. You get all that shit from white people, antebellum rednecks. That's where you get it from. That's why you talk like that. That's why you have those disparaging images of Africans and try to say, oh, this is why we're not them, because they have certain practices. Practices don't mean any damn thing when we're talking about common ancestry. Anyway, those are the parts right there. We went through that and dealt with a lot of damn pseudo, man. There's a lot of pseudo. I know some of y'all guys are upset I'm talking about your friends and ISUPK, or I said things that may have made you upset because their ideology is inherently flawed. I don't give a damn. I'm the head chairman of the I don't give a damn committee.
I'm upset.
Niggas just stay upset, man. Anyway, we out of here, bro. 3 p.m. CST in about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll be back live with the invitational for the 16-man tourney. If you are interested, please join. Come on live. And let's talk about it, man. Let's see if you guys really worth your salt. If you guys really are about it, and actually can debate instead of just comment wars. A lot of y'all like to comment and argue in the chat all the time and on social media. It is your time to shine, man. It's your time to shine and show your worth, man. Your skill, right? So here, it is the Elimination Chamber. We're getting ready to finalize the final roster. Anybody can join and show your skill, show your prowess, and you may be the one that wins the $500 cash prize. All right, so 3 p.m. CST, in about an hour and 15 or 10 minutes from now, we will be live again to promote the Elimination Chamber and talk to some of the debaters and generate some excitement for this event. So you guys, I see you guys then. Shalom, peace, all that good stuff. We out.
Smooth was good, baby.
Right. I'm a big dog on commissary losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got suicidal thoughts and it down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time for me is OGs. I'm a big dog on commissary losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got suicidal thoughts and it down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time for me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't want you now. Make the crowd scream, run them on guys. I bitch you red, bro, you down. He was supposed to be with Caesar Matthews, he's a 9. How you let the stinks take your pieces from me? Turn a nigga head into a Reese's cup. You wasn't on the main line, you was PC'd up. We got Draco in the building, turn to Stevie Wonder. Now we back to the punchlines. I'm finna do a nigga sleazy like that one time. I got a free bus pass, he on that one line. I tell my wrist handicap like that blind nigga. I'm a big dog, I'm coming to the losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I shoot them. I got suicidal thoughts and it down, don't make me lose it. The only thing can get some time for me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't come and say losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I show them I got suicidal thoughts and a down, made me lose it. The only thing that get some time for me is OGs. Man, I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with losers. For real. Suicidal thoughts and a down, made me lose it.
I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with poodles. I make street music you can commit violent crimes too. If we beefing, I use chunks from your noodles to make spaghetti. Throwing house party when you hear them pop shots, it's not confetti. That shit under meniscus, I can eyeball it, no fatty. For a nickel, my shooter ain't a nigga world Armageddon. I want more chains to whip like my shit ain't broke already. And I don't wanna hit that crystal cause I'm dope already. Things came to take the rack, ain't over and I hope y'all ready. Bitch act stupid, I fuck your mama, bitch, you know I'm petty. Nigga think he fucking with me, must be blowed off fatty. This exotic stinky buzz, we don't smoke that Reggie.
I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I show them I got the suicidal thoughts and it down, made me lose it. The only thing that get some time for me is OGs. I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with losers. Get these niggas on my comments before I show them I got the suicidal thoughts and it down, made me lose it. The only thing that get some time for me is OGs. Man, I'm a big dog, I don't conversate with losers. For real. Suicidal thoughts and it down, made me lose it.